This is things you might have heard. I am Jake Payne, bringing you stories for this day, which happens to be 14th October 2021. Going live 5:30 a.m. Central Time here in the Central Time Zone. If you are watching this live, let me know. If you're watching this in the future, just let me know. Pop up in the chat. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from, what you're getting out of this, and you a little bit better in the future. Now, we are proud to have we are your home for great things. News stories that are conversational, news stories that we're chatting about. These are the headlines, pop culture news, and other things that kind of slip into the case. And today we're talking about what we didn't talk about yesterday because we gave a baseball to Trump and the Gaza peace. That is, go back to that government shutdown, which Johnson says can go for a while. Look at him very much off the top of that. Let's talk about Kristi Noem and her airport video, which is not the hit that she thought it was going to be. And we have some relationship news, including some things with Katy that for some reason, a long shot story posted a long time ago finally came up in the range for what's going on there. So that's his three stories. We'll talk about plus eight total, five others. Remind you that our website home is this. It's conversationproject.com. You can have more details about what we do, how we do it, and the whys. Sometimes we even know the whys itself. And of course, you can visit our website for sponsors and partnership information to help us keep this thing on the air. Our spotlight sponsor today, we'll talk to you about Famous Ground News because they help us contain the news a little better, and we can help you figure out what news is more newsy and less reaction. As well, the story today will actually go into that part as well. Now, that's what we have here. Remind you of those things here. You're having a great Tuesday. If this is the future, or we'll have a great Tuesday. If it is the past, something like that. Let's get into the news stories for this Tuesday morning. Right off the bat, we're going into the shutdown, which has been going on now. This is basically the third week. I lose count basically into the third week. Speaker Mike Johnson says the standoff actually, quote, could be the longest ever, words he said out of his mouth, unquote, unless Democrats actually drop the health care ask tied to reopening government. The big fight is over health care and essentially the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, wrapping the credits going away now, as opposed to maybe putting up a deal that would give it a year's worth of extension and go away then. Shutdowns entering the second week, going into the third, and the cascading effects across agencies and airports are being felt. People aren't showing up for air traffic control. Troops are working and not getting paid. Various places are being shut down, including the Smithsonian, because furloughs and no one's getting paid and no one can work. Johnson's hard line keeps pressure on the Democrats, and Democrats counter that worker back pay and core services shouldn't be a bargain chip. Oh yeah, Donald Trump doesn't want to pay everybody back, just his people. Yeah, things like that. Parallel messages are going back and forth, and the war of words is escalating, but the war of actually getting things done, not actually working out so well. So furloughs, missed checks, travel delays, and many other issues happening in our nation's government because our nation's government is not functioning at all. Investors and unions are sworn at prolong and certainly will basically be costly and actually unwind even after the restoration is there. It's going to be hard to actually put bottles back into bottles once these things are open. We need to keep an eye on this thing now and fix it now, or get things open to fix what needs to be fixed now, because this is a bad look for all folks. We had this story about the poll where Democrats, Republicans, and Trump are all getting plenty of blame. So they should figure out how to fix it. News outlets are pushing back against the Pentagon and the new rules that PTSD wants to give to have access. A rare unified rejection from all sources, most sources, if you will, as Washington Post, New York Times, AP, Reuters, Fox News, and Newsmax, which are all groups that you don't think would actually fall the line together, are doing. They have all pledged to not sign the pledge, the Pentagon's new access rules they call unconstitutional. Policy was rolled out by Defense Secretary or War Department Secretary Pete Hegseth a few weeks back, requiring written pledges to allow presidential revocation for unapproved disclosure. Basically, the Jim Acosta effect. You don't like what they said, you're going to pull your credentials until someone gets them back. This case, there's no fight, you don't get them back. Pentagon Press Association has retained counsel. Outlets are prepared for legal action. Only a handful of conservative publishers actually signed at this or said they're going to. Most say the rules uh, uh, basically are routine reporting for taxpayer from the military. So they say, okay, no problem. We pledge to not do anything that's going to be bad for the military. But noticeable are Newsmax, Fox News, those outlets there who have also signed on this one, along with AP and New York Times and Reuters, say it's not kosher. This isn't good. Deadline pressure to sign or leave is up for bid pretty quickly, and it's sharpening First Amendment showdown on freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to get information and provide it to the world without any sort of bar from a entity of a government, such as PHS's War Department. This is one we're definitely watching. And then what I'm looking because if it does come to pass, that means less stories like the one we'll do in a hot take later about Pete Hegseth saying that he, or not saying, sending home troops from Chicago and being fat. We'll look for that in a hot take. We'll explain that in a bit. The education department is doing its job, or Linda McMahon is doing her job by getting rid of it. The department has laid off Target Special Education and Civil Rights Oversight now, as of this moment. They don't exist. AP has confirmed this with offices being hit that oversee special education, your IDEA plans, and the Office of Civil Rights, which raise compliance concerns in various districts. Advocates are warning that complaints, investigations, and technical assistance will slow during the this shutdown and basically go away when it comes down, when it goes all done. The cuts land as schools juggle pandemic era learning loss and heightened disputes. Things have changed and people are trying to fix them. People are trying to fix them. However, people who are supposed to be in charge at the education department who are supposed to fix these things, they ain't doing it because they don't exist anymore. Unions are arguing that the reductions could contradict federal protections. Congress has not said anything there. Congress says that they're supposed to be there. They put them in place. They've not been approved by Congress, so why aren't we doing them? Because McMahon says my job is to keep this department. Department of Education says core safety functions continue, but timelines will slip for all the things dealing with us here. I don't think times are a little odd, if not bad. You're not paying attention. Kristi Noem's shot at being maybe a YouTube sensation, being all over the place, may be shot down as major reports are refusing to air the PSA video done by Noem that blames Democrats for shutdown. Airports like Portland and Seattle and Westchester declined to run VHS Secretary Kristi Noem's partisan video on TSA checkpoints. The video basically says we're having issues with funding right now because of the Democrats. Democrats making your flights go delayed, your flights go away. It's all their fault. I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically what's going on. Officials cite the policies against political messaging as potential hatch issues. Known by pushing this out there is breaking the Hatch Act, they believe, and it puts them liable for those issues. Some Republican reporter from some airports saying that they don't want to or they're ways out of it, but basically airports are going to run this PSA. DHS defended the PSA. Uh, Airports authority said the content was unprecedented for checkpoint screenings. It's something you don't see every day. Not just welcome to the airport, hopefully you're safe, make sure your luggage is checked. Oh, by the way, blame the Democrats. Like, hey, a little harsh, a little off-putting, maybe illegal. The dispute underscores how the shutdown fight has spilled into public facilities and communications about everything moving forward. It's not just the senators and the congressmen going on TV talking about whomever's plan this is and blaming Trump or Schumer or whoever you want to. It is literally all the agencies and all the things that should be private and should be out of it getting into the fight they don't want to be in. The like, share, subscribe section where I stop, pause in the middle of the headlines. We have 4 down, 4 to go, and ask you to help us grow what we have here for the project, and particularly for things you might have heard. So we're asking you to like this video. Like this video, it will be shared out to more people in the future for the replays, and they will think it's better to do the show when go live every weekday morning at 5:30 a.m. That's how the algorithms work. So X, or Facebook, or YouTube, like the video so more people will watch us and get a chance to watch us. If you know like-minded people, share it with those folks so they can like the video as well and they can be more engaged going on. The more likes I see from all across, the better I know I'm doing. So if I know I'm doing better, I will do more of the better stuff. Today is going to be a long day, so I'm a little tired. Apologies for stumbling some words, but a little bit extra help to make sure this thing takes care of itself. A little less working on some of the extracurricular activities to, pay the bills, keep the tornado house from falling over again. Now, if you're not getting this naturally in your subscription, in your feeds, subscribe wherever you want to on YouTube, on X, on Facebook. You can also subscribe to various places to get other things, including our newsletters, and you can also get our audio podcast. You can find that at our website as well. Get the news, grow the nation, get us all together so we have lots of fun here doing new stuff with you alls every single day. Cities across America are pushing back against the flock of license plate cameras that are costing us, if you will. Backlash in places like Arizona, which would put up a lot of flack. They voted to remove the 11 flock ALPRSs and end its contract with these cameras that capture your license plates. Civil liberties suits argue that systems enable mass tracking. One complaint actually documented a single driver who was 526 times in 4 months while driving around, and the cameras were up. Not necessarily great for your sanity and for the thoughts of us being a surveillance state, especially since we are turning somewhat into a surveillance state. Supporters counter the claims that on stolen cars and the Amber Alert small alerts, feeling divided city councils on what they should do. It helps to track the bad guys, but it openly tracks regular people, which is bad. Meanwhile, the federal government's own legal filings in some cases have actually complicated the local debates over preemption and privacy. Feds don't particularly have great luck with cameras either. So they sort of are giving either some fuel to the fire for locals who want gone, or basically they will support some people based on what actual report you're seeing. There's a patchwork of cities who are expanding appointments, meanwhile others are rolling back because of lawsuits. It's going to be a weird net effect of craziness in your tracking people, or specifically in your enforcement laws for traffic citations while you're tracking. I thought I was going to get away from this one. We posted this one fairly early in the batch for yesterday, so we basically stuck around. It was a fairly big deal, but so many things happening with the Israel and Gaza and Palestinians and Hamas yesterday that we able to bypass it. Well, bypass no more because you guys said it was conversation. You guys want to talk about it. Talking about it. Although when you get the comments, you guys said you don't want to talk about it. I think you want to talk about it. Katy Perry, Justin Trudeau, sharing a kiss during a yacht getaway in California. Multiple outlets published the photos of Perry and Trudeau kissing and cuddling on a yacht in Santa Barbara, off Santa Barbara. In Santa Barbara would be weird. Boat, escalating months of dating rumors. People and Fantasy Fair, seven magazines, framed it as strongest public confirmation yet. The reps say they're not committed. They're just having a little fun on a boat outside of California. Aggregators trace the images to tabloid photo agencies, and mainstream sites now have carried the gallery for all over the place. And me, non-mainstream, giving you stories that are worth talking about because you say so. We're talking about it. The timeline pegs the first public sightings back to July at a dinner in Montreal. Both recently separated from their prior partners, so they are free to see other people, and the other people seem to be themselves. Expect a second cycle when either party addresses the relationship directly, because someone's has to say something eventually. We will see who wins. Baldwin issues going down where Alec and Stephen were involved in a car crash on a highway in New York recently. The entertainment outlets all reported that Baldwin brothers were involved in a highway crash. Early posts emphasized no major injuries reported at the scene of uh, the crash. Details remain thin, though. Authorities have not released the complete incident report as of this writing, so stuff will probably come down later. Story is developing and more things come through, but it was a fairly simple, easy coverage. And the coverage actually taps the heightened attention for Alec Baldwin and his legal exposure from various other cases going through. Stephen Baldwin was just in the car, essentially. We'll find out exactly what's going on. It just happened that Stephen was there, so now he gets scrutiny. We are watching newsrooms across the nation and, of course, us here for conversational stuff, are looking for witness video, dash cam video, people, eyewitnesses to talk about this, so that we can get more dirt on it because we're nosy these things go on. In the meantime, all are waiting for an initial report to be released. All these things are public at some point in time. Trust me, Fox News will get this and turn this into a bigger story, unless you just saw a squirrel, swerved off the road, and all is good. And it'll be Obama, Obama, Obama. They'll find a reason to blame Obama for it because they do, or Biden. And this Biden didn't remember that's what they do. Remember the story we had a few days ago about counter programming Turner Point USA was going to do for a halftime show that hadn't had any actual factual applies. Then remember the story we did yesterday about how Turner Point USA is going to do a halftime show that's going to counter program the halftime show for Super Bowl. And they're going to ask for donations, ask for venues, nothing really planned and nothing set up quite yet, but they're working on it. Part three of that story is supporters were duped by a fake Turner Point USA halftime show poster on the internet that featured Kid Rock and Measles as performing the alternate show, which is going to happen most likely, but hasn't quite been planned yet. So yeah, our post claimed that TPUSA booked Kid Rock, Ted Nugent, and a band called the Measles for a counter Super Bowl show. That's the poster there. You see, if you watch the video, watching or listen to the online version, the audio version. Look for it online. It's it's obviously fake. It's a Chat GPT AI poster. Good looking poster. Looks great, but it's not. Fact checks trace the pattern to partisan memes and AI art. The hoax piggybacks on Turning Point USA's real plan to counter programming show for the Super Bowl in Santa Clara. Several influencers amplified the poster before deleting or just asking questions. In their sense, I'm just asking questions. It's not here. I'm just I don't know. Is it real? Is it not real? Is it fake? Is it not fake? What's going on? Lessons for you and your feeds. This is something that notwithstanding, we fall for things as well. A story pops up in the feed that seems too good, and we talk about our sponsor that helps us keep these things good. We think it's a little odd. Telling stories that are just way too good, way too clean, way too on the nose tend to not be real. So verify the bill before you share the flyer. Make sure you know where it's coming from and where they're pushing it from before you actually put it out there because there's no concert. Not yet. It's not there yet. So without anyone signing on to it, nothing coming from American Kirk, really ought to back off. The videos I saw were not people promoting the actual show that didn't exist, but people making fun of people who thought the show existed, hoping for Kid Rock, Ted Nugent, and of course Travis Tritt show for this great all-American thing, which might be an awesome concert, but that's a whole lot of people playing in 15 minutes. That's a whole lot of people playing 15 minutes, which should have been your first clue that this was not real. And a band called Measles, because all the people thrown it together who are unvaccinated will probably get the measles. That's an inside joke. That should have been your second clue that it wasn't. There are clues, folks. And those clues can be determined as factual or unfactual using Ground News, our spotlight sponsor today, a news site we use every single day to check various stories and look for things and kind of see the spin we want to put on some stories. Ground News allows you to see all the headlines from all the sources, whether they're Republican, whether they're a liberal Democrat, where they are. You can see who they are, how to do things, and some conversational parts like headline comparisons and some comparisons and news notes give you a detail of how they want to portray the actual story you're seeing. They do it for national, international, and local stories as well. And you can get a chance to see their blind spot feature using the Advantage plan, which allows exactly what's being sold by your folks or the folks on the other side, and vice versa. This is a great tool to have in your phone for your app for Android or iOS, or on your website to check stories that seem a bit too true, even if I put them out there. You want to double check that Turning Point USA poster story? Go for it. Ground News will give you who's covering it, how it was covered until it stopped being covered. It's fake. You can get a great discount on the details by going to our link. This is theconversationproject.com/ground news. This is conversationproject.com/ground news. You get 40% off all their plans right now for Duped. So get yourself a great deal off of a great deal by visiting our link. This is conversationproject.com/ground news. This is an affiliate link, so we get a commission for you to the door. They take care of you and put the news and 40% off your bill, and you get a new lease on life from Ground News. Our website home. This is conversationproject.com. Our email address, the conversation inbox.com. Email me to complain about the news. I did say we're going to do some Pete Head stuff in a moment. There's a hot take I'm going to report separately from this one on the troops in Chicago that got picked up in that viral photo that aren't exactly meeting the standards that Pete Head wants to meet. So they apparently got sent home. If you want to see that, follow this feed in YouTube or follow our feed on TikTok. Hot takes, you'll see those as well. Follow our feeds on Facebook and X so you can be a part of the voting process, voting up or down stories. By engaging in stories, I know which stories are worthy of chatting up. Like that. Simple. Every day, about 3 hours of time from midnight to about 4 in the morning or so. And then we see what we can do. 28 hours. And then we see what we do about the stories that are there, plus the headlines that are breaking. That's how we do things here. Meanwhile, it's going to be a pretty good Tuesday, at least weather-wise here for Arkansas. Pretty tiring Tuesday. Things are rolling through. We're halfway through the month of October. We're halfway through this month. We're rolling through this quarter, which was in the year. It's coming in as fast. Don't let it pass you by. Make sure you take a little time to pause, stop and smell the roses before they die out from cold, or smell some emails. Listen for Halloween. Love your neighbors. Love your family. Love yourself. I love you as well. We're out of here for this Tuesday recording. Have a great Tuesday. Have that day great. We'll see you for hopefully the energy. Long night again. A Wednesday edition of Things You Might Not Have Heard.